Alright, it's been a while. So this is for June 14th through the 20th, 2021. I know I'm still behind. I'm about a month behind. It is what it is. This one was a really slow week. I am going to record two videos, one right after this one as well, because next week I'm going on vacation, so at least I'll be able to put this one out today and the next one out probably next week. But back to it. Okay, so this week there was 20 items that sold, which, if you've been watching this, 20 items is generally what I sell on a slow weekend. This was the whole week. The average price was $29.31, which is still pretty good. The first item up is an antique cast iron door holder or door stop. This one sold for $30. Next, we have a pair of Russian plates. These ones sold for 15 bucks, but in all transparency, I got a message saying the plates were broken. It was a big dilemma between me and USPS. I tried to file a claim. They ended up getting back to me saying that they needed the plates back, which I've never had happen before. I contacted the buyer, he had already thrown them away, so it is what it is. I ate the 15 bucks. Next up, we have an antique enamel pin. I love these little pins. I have a huge collection of pins. The weirder the better. Most people get excited, they see like a Mason's pin. Those are a dime a dozen, unless you find a really rare one. But this one is just an antique Schwaben Barin. It's from Chicago. I'm not sure if it's some like fraternal organization. Looks almost like a fraternal organization. Maybe I think it's got like a Polish eagle on it. I can't really see from this far away. But this one sold for $17.49 for a tiny little lapel pin that was probably purchased for next to nothing. Next up, we have a sterling silver diamond accent tennis bracelet. This just goes to show you that all that glitters is not gold. You don't get that much money, for these types of things. You're competing against China. And if you just Google tennis bracelet, sterling silver diamonds, I'm sure you'll come across some from China for, 10 cents. I don't know how they do it. Miraculously, I don't know if they're getting subsidized through through shipping. Which I believe is what actually happens is the United States public subsidizes their shipping so they can get their goods here for cheaper. I don't really know the whole ins and outs of it, but if you're selling a sterling silver for 10 cents with diamonds with free shipping, it doesn't make much sense to me. But in any event, that's who I'm competing against, so the fact that I was able to sell this for $19.95 is an absolute win. Next, we have a vintage Paris ashtray. I do like to collect ashtrays as well. I've got quite the collection of those. But this one sold for $10. Next, we have an Under Armour sleeveless shirt. This is actually mine. There's two things this week that sold from when I cleaned out my closet. This was from when I was in a lot better shape. I was never in all that good shape, but I was in much better shape than I am now. And this one was a compression sleeveless tank. It sold for $8. Next up is something I purchased right before this sold. I bought, it was 2 bags. Each bag was $1.99. Both of them had Thundercats in them. Thundercats is an old TV show. This was from 1985. This one just happens to be one of those ones that's kind of rare that was in there, which seems to happen sometimes. Sometimes you just get lucky. This one sold for 30 bucks. Next up is one of my favorite sales from this week. It was a 14 karat gold Bible pendant, but the cool thing is that the pages moved. They opened and you could actually read the Lord's Prayer inside of there. And this one sold for $175. Next up, we have a metal anchor, something that you put on the wall. It was a cast iron metal anchor, wall decor. It sold for $13.99. Next up is, I don't pronounce this correctly. I say cloisonne. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. Someone just corrected me the other day. It is what it is. I don't really know. Antique cloisonne plate. Some of these can sell for big money, especially if they're really old, or if it's if it's a nice vase or something like that. Not because you'll find these all over the place, but there's got to be something that signifies its age. Maybe it's got a nice wear on the bottom. But this one wasn't that. This was kind of a newer one for being antique, because these things do go back quite a ways. This one sold for 15 bucks. Next up, we have a cast aluminum, it's like a Mexican warrior type doorstop or bookend. This one I've had for a while, maybe about a year now. Sold for 35 bucks. Next up, a vintage sterling silver Baltic amber multicolored bracelet. So this just had the different colors. There's different colors in amber. There's there's the regular amber, then you got like the egg yolk amber and butterscotch amber. I think this one had all three, but I'm not too. Let me see. Oh, this one's got the egg yolk and the regular looking Baltic amber. There's no butterscotch in that one. But in any event, that one sold for 60 bucks. I actually just sold an amber one this morning, and that one only sold for 20 some bucks, but it was not like this. Next up, we have a pair of Dr. Peepers sunglasses. These are the oversized glasses. The only reason I bought them was because they were odd looking. They were very oversized. These ones sold for 12 bucks. Next, we have a vintage First Communion medal. It's like a little pin. This one sold for $7.50. Next is Lenox. Lenox makes some crystal, but they also make jewelry as well. Who knew? This one is a sterling silver Walt Disney Tweety Bird set. So it was a necklace and earring set. Yeah, necklace and earring set. This one sold for $45.50. Next up, we have a vintage pin. It says L look up, lift up. Generally, when I buy vases of jewelry, you'll get a bunch of these pins in there, which is one of the reasons I love them, because they cost next to nothing. And if you get a vase full of them, whoo, that's now we're talking. This one sold for $5.88. Next up, this is also mine. This is a pair of Oakley board shorts. These ones sold for $21. I can't even begin to tell you. These things have been sitting in my drawer for probably about 2 years, 3 years. I don't even know. Maybe even 4 or 5 years. I have no idea. But in any event, selling them for 21 bucks. Sweet. Yeah, that beats garage sale all day long. Next up, we have a brass Clauda door knocker. This one sold for $25. You used to be able to get a lot of good money for a lot of these things like door knockers. I used to find them a lot. I don't find them as much anymore. This one is kind of a common one, the Clauda, the Irish Clauda pattern. But 25 bucks. Next up, we have a small bird cage. It's like it's really small. It's kind of referred to as a miner's bird cage, like the ones that they would carry down to the mines. This one sold for 35 bucks. The woman that bought this, or man, I'm not sure, ended up contacting me because the shipment was late, which is a common theme nowadays with USPS. Everything is running slow. It was late to make it to, they were buying it for a present for a friend. So they were pissed at me, even though I shipped it on time. There's nothing I can really do. At the end of the day, order your stuff earlier. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's the nature of the way things are right now. There's so many people buying things, and USPS can only deliver so many packages in a given day. Next up, and last but not least, is a vintage Bars Service trucker hat. This one sold for $5.04, which I'm pretty happy about because I've had this since January 18th, 2016. Wow, almost 5.5 years I've had that hat. I know that I bought this hat for 99 cents, but to hold on to something for that long, there's a reason I do not buy hats anymore, and that is it. All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up, and I'll get back to you next week with another one.